Hi, Best Buds. It's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. In yesterday's video, we made some beautiful marbled paper. The technique is not hard, and I take you through the steps that you will need to be able to create your own beautiful marbled paper like I have here. I even did a bag, a gift bag. Wouldn't that be fun? And of course, just some copyweight paper. I printed my own papers. Beautiful. Okay, Cathy, so I've got these. Now what am I going to do? I've got an envelope here, and we're going to decorate our envelope. Now, I made one earlier. It looks like this. And the back looks like this. It's very shabby chic. Inside we have one of the little cards. I put a little punch at the top of it that you can journal on the back. What fun this is. So what you'll need is you'll need some scraps. I have a blue doily that I have torn up. I have a piece of lace. It was from a thrift store shirt. I've got a couple pieces of lace. I have a faux stamp. I have a label from Chapter 1 Papers. I have a little piece of an applique, or I'm not sure if that's the correct word to use. Truly, these are just bits and pieces of things. I've got some strips, fabric here. I have some paper flowers. I have smaller ones. I have bigger ones. And I have some flat back pearls in there. I also am going to be using my tumbled glass. I love to use different colors of ink. And this is absolutely perfect for my project here that happens to have this beautiful blue color. So the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to ink up my sponge, and I'm going to go around my edge of my beautiful marbled envelope. And I'm going to go around this part of the envelope, and I'm just kind of doing that circular motion just to get some ink applied onto my paper here. Now, my envelope that I showed you, the example that I made, it had actually come apart because of the moisture. This one, I think, can come apart too. Yeah, there you go. They might come apart, they may not. We're going to glue it back together. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take these pieces of doily. And this, you know how one side is rougher than the other side? I'm going to put the smooth side outward like this. And I'm just going to work my way around my flap of my doily. I think I need to put this one on this side and then follow it around maybe. We'll see. I'm not sure exactly how it will fit together. I don't want one sticking out too much further than the other as far as this part here sticking out. What's that going to look like? Can we turn it over and kind of see what that's going to look like? Yeah, I think this needs to go on the top, and this needs to go underneath. Maybe something like that would be really pretty. All right, let's go ahead and glue it down. So I place this one on first. I'm going to use my art glitter glue, and I'm applying my glue right onto my doily and a little bit onto the flap of the envelope, and I'm just going to glue it down. And then I'm going to take my next piece that I have. Actually, I can probably tear that off right there, and it might stick in there a little easier. adding a little bit of my glue to my doily and a little bit onto the flap. And let's just pop it in here like that. That'll work well. And then let's move over to this side, and I'm going to put it in this way. So adding my glue and adding my glue to my doily. Put my lid back on my glue real quick. And let's just lay this right in there like that. All right, so back to the front, I want to glue where I spliced it together. I'm going to just add a little bit of glue to each side and press it down so that it's not going to flap open. It'll stay closed. And I really think that is going to be beautiful. That's so pretty. Now, this doesn't look so pretty, so we're going to need some papers for that. I got into my paper pads. This is the one I used for my example, but these will work as well. And these are fairly thin papers. They're not thick at all. And I think the thinness of it is going to be better than maybe a cardstock. And I'm going to cut this in the width that I'm going to need to stick inside of my envelope. All right, sorry. I really told myself to do this first, but I got to the doilies. No, you guys, don't do your doilies first. First, you're going to cut your liner for your envelope. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use one of my other envelopes. They're all the same envelopes. And I'm going to trim this out. I've just stuck this paper in here. This is what we're going to use to line the inside. I'll put this back over here in my little pile. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop it right in here. Yeah. And see, it covers up all this that's going on, right? Now, before I glue this down, I'm going to use my sponge and I'm going to go around the edge. I need to fix that little piece right there. So let me get this fixed right there. There we go. That's going to look a little better. Now my envelope is already open, so I can stick it in this way, which is really a lot easier. I'm just making sure that it fits fine. It does. That will look great. So I'm going to use my art glitter glue, and I'm going to add my glue around the edge of my piece that I've chosen for the liner of my envelope so that it looks really nice and it covers up the doily ends that we had there. And I'm going to, I need to finish inking that side right there. So let's get that side inked. It just adds a little extra because we did not marble the back side of the envelope. I'm going to go ahead and glue it closed, or glue it so it shuts and makes a pocket like that. Okay, so now we have that done. Oh, it's looking so cute already. Now let's turn it over and let's shut this. Probably should let it dry, but I'm going to go shut it because we're moving right along. Now you see how they stick out, the doilies stick out of the side? I'm just going to trim it like this. I'm going to trim this. Okay, now that looks a lot better, doesn't it? Super cute. Oh my goodness, that is going to be so cute. Why? How do I not have all this inked up yet? I don't know what's going on. Okay, now let's turn it to our front. And what I have here is I have that piece of lace. It's a scrap. I just cut it out of a shirt. I have another little scrap piece of lace. I have two more pieces of doily. I'm going to place the larger one right here. I'm going to place the smaller one over here. And I'm going to pop this lace right on top. Maybe more like, I'm not sure, let's see. Maybe just like that. I actually think this is a little big, so I'm going to cut it down, and I don't care if it's jaggedy. In fact, jaggedy's probably a little better. Oh yeah, that's a much better size. I think I might pop it right over there. Like that, maybe? No, I'm gonna keep it this way. Okay, like this. I've got my little label. I can pop my label on here. Do I want that there? Do I want it underneath? Oh, maybe like that. That looks good. I've got that little scrap. This is from a shirt too. Thrift store shirt. Yeah, I go to the thrift store and look at all their pretty shirts that they have, their lacy shirts. All right, so that's looking pretty nice. I think I really like that. I'm gonna get this glued down. All right, here it looks all glued down. That paper, or those paper flowers, now it's time to bring those in. Actually thinking the bigger paper flower might be nice there, but let's try the smaller one. Oh, I don't know, the smaller one does look better. And what color of little accent flower do I want? How about this color? So let's glue the paper flower down. I took the center out already, and I took the center out of these smaller paper flowers so that we can replace it with a flat back pearl. Oh my goodness, that is so sweet. We need to add our stamp, our faux stamp, right here on top of this. I'm actually going to use my hot glue gun. And I'll show you my hot glue gun in just one second. It's a Surebonder high temp, and it has this specialty tip. It came with that tip. I didn't add that tip on there. I have my stamp items that we will need to mark our stamp as already being sent from the post office. Whoopsie. So I've got my black stays on, and let's mark it with that, and then let's mark it with this little marking. That is perfect. And I'll show you, this is my black stays on. Alrighty. And then let's see, let's move on to the back side of our beautiful envelope. I'm going to cut this off right here. I don't want that extra sticking out. Just cut it off right there. Okay, so I'm going to open it back up. I've got those strips, remember? I'm thinking just maybe a strip of fabric. I'm not sure if I want maybe this one instead of this one. Maybe something like that. I'm actually, where's my other, here it is, hiding. I need to trim this off a little bit, I think, to get that to fit up in there. I think so. And then I think, do I want this flower here and then maybe another flower? I don't like that color. How about this color? I'm not sure that is working for me. Maybe I like just this little piece better. And does this piece fit? Goes this way. That's going the wrong way, isn't it? Maybe I do want it down here. I'm not sure. We're just playing around, seeing what we can come up with, what we like. It's a little too bright. And maybe, well, maybe something off center like that. I also have these little scraps that I just ended up cutting off of that piece of lace that I had. Do I want to place this? Oh, I thought it was two pieces. It's one. Place this right here and place my flower, and then maybe place this in the middle. Is that too much? Yeah, that's too much. I don't even think I like that, but I might like this. You just have to play around, you guys. You know, one way, maybe way you like it, and maybe another way you don't like it. And you never know until you give it a try. I don't like that piece on there like that. Just be net. Oh, the net's fine. This flower is kind of dirty. Yeah, I don't want a dirty flower. Oh, I like that. All right, so let me get this glued in place. Here is how this one turned out that we made together. I absolutely adore it. Inside and out, it is so special. You can turn your marbled envelopes into a lovely creation. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.